So many of you are sitting on high value offers, but you're pricing them too low. You're second guessing who they're for, and you're shrinking when it's time to sell. Well, in this episode, we're going to fix all of that. We're going to be talking about how to create your signature offer once and sell it again and again at a premium price with peace and power. And by we, I mean me, because just me. It's a solo episode. So, welcome to the Wisdom to Wealth podcast. This is the podcast where I get to interview the wealthiest entrepreneurs and business owners in the world. I am your host, Shamar Starcox, TV producer and marketing coach. My goal is to help 6 and 7 figure business owners get seen, get paid, and live free by creating binge-worthy videos on social media. And in this special episode, actually, I am also the founder of the Convert Content to Cash Challenge. So if you want to learn how to create content that sells online, all you have to do is DM me the word challenge accepted on Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn, and I will personally send you an invite to the Convert Content to Cash Challenge. So as I said before, there are a lot of you in here or who will be tuning in where you are sitting on high value offers. You're so accustomed to selling low ticket. And for you, this is your comfort spot, right? But you can actually offer high ticket to your audience and they will buy. I remember when I first started out selling to my audience, the very first thing I offered was a $97 offer and someone bought it. And after I serviced her and I helped her with her content, guess what? She was able to make 4 figures in her business. She went from making, I think, 3 figures to 4 figures after she paid me $97 to help her with her video marketing. And after that, she said to me, "Girl, this was so good. You need to raise your price." And that did something in me, right? But not only that, I also had a fear of selling high ticket. One, because I thought that people wouldn't buy. In my mind, I couldn't fathom that people will actually invest $5,000, $10,000 into a program that I was offering. But was I in for a rude awakening when all of that shifted, right? So I'm gonna go into 3 things. We're gonna talk about the mindset of high ticket sales. We're gonna go into creating the offer once and then pricing the offer boldly, right? So in this episode, I want to show you how you can create. This is the 100K secret. So how you can hit 6 figures in your business or hit your next 6 figures in your business by creating one offer and selling it over and over again, especially when you're selling it at high ticket, right? So some of you on here now, you may be feeling like a little fearful. You may be thinking to yourself, "Oh my goodness, I don't want to sell high ticket, or I want to sell it, but will people buy?" Right? If any of those are going through your mind, let's talk about the first thing, which is the mindset for high ticket sales. What keeps brilliant people, capable coaches, and business owners from actually charging high ticket is fear of rejection, guilt or discomfort around receiving large amounts of money quickly, the question of what if no one buys, and then feeling like you have to prove your value in order for people to pay you that much money, right? So I'm going to break down each one of these things. I actually went through each one of these in my own business every time I was raising my price selling high ticket, right? So like the fear of rejection, this is actually something God had to deliver me from before I even started my business. I remember I grew up just feeling rejected most of my life. I had daddy issues, go figure. I had friends who turned on me, right? So, like, who am I talking to where you experience rejection in your life? And so now, because of that, you don't want to step outside your comfort zone because you don't want to get rejected again, right? If that's you, you can just drop a me in the chat. It's always good to know, like, who's tuned in right now so that I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. But if you ever went through, um, being rejected or you have a fear of rejection, drop a me in the chat so I know that you're here and I know that I'm not the only one. But that's where I was, right? And so in 2020, I went on a solo retreat. It was just me and God. Now, here's the dope thing about doing this solo retreat. I knew I wanted to do this retreat so I could learn how to hear God speak or really go deeper in my walk with God, right? And God said this to me. He said, "Don't plan anything. I will do all the planning." And I'm thinking to myself, what if you don't show up? I don't know if any of you have ever been there before where you're believing God for something, but then there's this fear. What if he doesn't show up? So that's where I was, right? And he says to me, "Just don't plan anything. Trust me," right? And so I didn't plan anything for the retreat. I show up for this retreat. It's just me and God. We're in this apartment. And on the first day, he gives me an activity to do, right? So he's already showing me that he's showing up. And when I tell you that activity he gave me had me to my knees, I was bawling my eyes out. I was just like, "Lord, I needed every bit of this." But the next day was crucial for me because the next day, while I was worshiping, I was listening to a Tasha Cobbs song. I was worshiping and I felt something coming up in my chest. I didn't know what it was, but something was bubbling up and I had a lot of tears and I was crying, crying, crying. And I realized I was in the midst of a deliverance. And what God was delivering me from was the spirit of rejection. How many of you who are tuning in right now or even later, you've ever gone through a deliverance before? Hey, Coach Karen, how you doing? Yep, Coach Karen says fear of being perceived as a fraud or not as good at that part. That part. Those are real fears that come up when it comes to selling high ticket, sometimes when it comes to selling, period, right? But how many of you have gone through a deliverance before? And when you're going through the deliverance, you don't realize that that's what's happening, but you know that your body is going through the changes. So that's where I was. I'm going through this deliverance. I'm crying. I'm worshiping. I'm just surrendering in that moment, allowing God to do what he does best, which is to set us free. And I remember seeing in my soul, because I'm a seer, right? So we call that people who are able to have dreams and visions. You're considered to be a seer. That's a gift that God has given us, right? And so I'm a seer and I can see in my soul. How do I know it's my soul? It was just all black. That's it. It was just all black. This is how I see my visions sometimes. And on my soul, there were in big, bold letters, the word rejection. I mean, it was huge, right? Like if any of you grew up watching, I think it's called Schoolhouse Rock or something like that, and used to have like those fun words just flying around, that's what was in my soul. I can see the word rejection just huge on my soul, right? And God says to me, what do I say about you, right? And I'm thinking to myself, automatically, we tend to come up with our own sayings so that we can set ourselves free, right? So, for an example, typically when God tells you you're not rejected, and now you're trying to think, okay, what does God say about me? We automatically go to our default and says, I'm not rejected, but I'm accepted. And that's what I did. I went to my default and said, I'm accepted, right? And so I can see the word accepted flying in. It was a tiny word and tiny wings. It was flying in, trying to knock rejection over, and it wouldn't work. And I said to God, well, why is accepted not working? And God said, because I didn't accept you, I chose you. And in that moment, I can see chosen in big, bold words come and crush rejection on my soul. And now what sits here is chosen, right? And so in that moment, I start to manifest. What does that mean? It means that whatever demon was there started coming out. So I started throwing up. So I ran to the bathroom and I started throwing up, and I'm just throwing up. I know some of you are like, I didn't sign up for this, but that's what deliverance is. Yeah, Coach Karen says, I've definitely gone through deliverance. So if any of you have gone through deliverance and you have experienced the throwing up, the profusely crying, some of you, it's other, like you're yawning like crazy. I've gone through all of them, right? But this specific deliverance, I started throwing up. And I remember just crying and feeling so free in that moment that God has delivered me from the spirit of rejection. Now, this is important. Because even though he delivered me from the spirit of rejection, I now needed to be healed from rejection, right? So some of you have been going through healing from rejection, but you still feel it so strongly. And it may be that you need to be delivered from this spirit. If the spirit still has access to you, no matter what you do, you're still going to feel oppressed. So now that I got delivered from it, and when I talk about deliverance, I'm not talking about like you as a Christian, you're possessed by demons. You cannot be possessed as a Christian. You can be oppressed in the sense that like your thoughts are taken over. You want to do certain things, but you kind of feel bound, right? So once I got delivered from that spirit, I no longer felt that way, which opened the door for healing from rejection, right? So now God healed me from rejection. This was 2020. This was August 2020. This was important because I started my business August 2021. And in order for me to fully start my business and walk boldly in it, I needed to no longer feel rejected. I needed to know that I was chosen for this walk. I was chosen for this path. So as I felt that, I can go into my business feeling chosen so that when I received the no's, I wouldn't take it personally. Now, did I take it personally? Of course. Who doesn't take a no personally, right? But eventually I started to understand that the no's just meant that I was getting better. I needed to get better at what I was doing, right? So that's the first thing. Fear of rejection, really being healed from rejection as you move forward. That's super important, right? The next mindset is guilt or discomfort around receiving large amounts of money quickly. There are some people where you don't want to sell high ticket because you feel guilty to receive that much money in a short amount of time. In your mind, you're hardwired, and I was the same way, still am sometimes, where you believe I need to work extra hard or twice as hard in order for this money to make sense. But in all actuality, you're the expert. You are the one where you can get it done in 2 seconds while that other person is going to be struggling. That's why they want to pay you the big bucks, right? So once you release this guilt that, first of all, I'm worthy of making a lot of money in a very short amount of time. I'm worthy of the millions and billions and trillions of dollars. Like once you get release that guilt and you recognize your worthiness, then it makes it a lot easier to tell someone this offers $15,000. This offers $20,000. I tell my audience it's only $10,000. That's it. And I sell my $10,000 packages right on TikTok. Some of you on here now, you think that you can't sell 10K offers on TikTok or Instagram. It's not true. The same people who are on LinkedIn, they on Instagram and TikTok too. They just showing up differently, right? And when they're attached to your voice, they're going to want what it is that you have to offer. But you've got to release the guilt. I remember I used to feel guilty thinking, man, I felt like I was taking people's money. That's what it was. I felt like, and this was when I was selling 5K. I felt like I was taking people's money. But the reality is I'm someone who operates in integrity, right? So I'm not taking anyone's money. They're investing in me and they're investing in their future, right? And so when they invest, they get an outcome. Some of my clients, because they invested in my program, have been able to, exactly. Coach Karen is like, right? Only. That's it. Not even air quotes, just only, right? Some of my clients, because they invested in my program, was able to go from 474 followers to 40,000 loyal and buying. That's important. Because some of you got 100,000 loyal and engaged, but loyal and engaged don't always equal paid, but loyal and buying do. One of my clients, she grew her following to over 40,000 on TikTok. And every time she posts, people are signing up for her email list. People are signing up to purchase her e-class. People are signing up to join her coaching program, right? Another one of my clients, she went viral. This is an astronomical result, by the way. If she never invested in my program, she wouldn't have gotten the messaging to go viral and gain 60,000 leads from one video. Yes, I said that. 60,000 leads for one video. My question to you is, if you were able to get 60,000 leads from one video, would it break your business or build it? Because some of you, you're like, I want more. I want to do more. Hey, Kwanda, how you doing? Right? I want more. I want to do more. I want to serve more. But given the opportunity, it may break your business. So you want to make sure your business is built in a way that you will be able to sustain the growth. Because here's the reality. Because you said yes to this assignment, because you said yes to being an entrepreneur, God wants to give you overflow. Because when you have overflow, that means other people get to benefit from it, right? So you're not going to be bringing in just 2 or 3 people. Maybe that's how it starts, right? Typically after a famine, when let me not say famine. Typically after a drought, when the rain starts to come, it doesn't pour right away. It starts off as a drizzle. But oh baby, when it starts to pour, you want to make sure you have your buckets ready so that you can receive. Because what's going to happen is when your bucket starts to overflow, you now get to bless other people. Our goal isn't to have just enough. I hear people say that all the time. If I could just have just enough, why would you want that? If you had just enough, you're only serving you and your family. But when you have overflow, you get to serve you, your family, and the thousands of people that were called to follow you. Thousands, plural, thousands upon thousands, right? So really being able to overcome the fear of rejection, release guilt or discomfort from making a lot of money quickly. That's important, right? The next one is the question. You're questioning yourself. What if no one buys? What if no one buys it, right? I'm going to tell you this right now. They buy every time. Actually, let me correct that. Because I have had, let me say it like this. What if no one buys? Raise your price again. That sounds contradictory, doesn't it? What if no one buys? Raise your price again. Here's why. Whenever I release an offer and people do not buy it right away, that lets me know that I need to raise the price because they don't see the quality or the value in it yet. And I'll give you an example. I had an offer that I released. I was teaching people story selling secrets, right? And it was 2 days and it was $997. That's how much it was. I released it, 40 people signed up, nobody bought. Sounds crazy, right? Because you would think that out of 40 people, somebody would sign up. But no, nobody bought. I took it off the market. I raised the price to $1,500. Ask me how many people bought. Ask me how many people bought, right? Some of you on the replay like, how many people bought? 2 people bought. So at $997, 40 signups, no sales. At $1,500, 2 sales, right? Okay. I took it off the market again. Some of y'all are like, why you keep taking it off the market? Because I recognize price strategy. That's why. I took it off the market again and I raised the price to I think it was $2,332. Don't ask me why it was that specific, but it was $2,332. Ask me how many people bought. I was oversold. So many people bought that I got really exhausted and I said, I can't sell this thing no more. That's how you know it's gold. I probably should go back to selling it, but I had to stop selling it. I got to the point where I was like, I do not want to do this no more. But when I tell you people were investing and they were waiting on the waiting list, because the program rolled out every 6 weeks. So they would invest and they would wait for the 6 weeks to come so that they can actually be part of it. Right. And that taught me something, that if I am selling something and no one's buying, just raise the price. Some of you were like, that don't make no sense, but it does. It does when you're selling to premium buyers. If you price your offer too low, they're going to look at it and think it's cheap, especially if you're the best at what you do. You cannot be the best at what you do selling things for bargain. That doesn't make any sense. If you are the best, people expect to pay the best. So I'm telling them, hey, I'm the best person to help you with your marketing, with your video marketing on top of that, especially if you have a lack of confidence showing up on camera, especially if you are afraid of being judged, especially if you have a high calling on your life. You're supposed to be on social media so that you can reach the masses, but you're not sure how to start. I'm the best person to help you. And if I was charging $997, first of all, it would have brought in this is it the right word? Scragglers? Scragglers, is that correct? Hopefully it is, right? It would have brought in the scragglers or scagglers or let me find another word. It would have brought in the low effort people. And I promise you, you do not want to work with low effort people. Those are the people who do the chargebacks. Those are the people who will steal from you. Like I've had people come through and they have paid me money. They pay their deposit and by the next month did not pay their next payment. I've had people come in, they have watched all the content and then did a chargeback saying that it was fraud. Now, trust and believe, we record everything, so I got all my money back. But you don't want to work with low effort people because you'll be doing a lot more trying to keep your money than actually working with people of integrity who has the funds and recognize value, right? So we just covered 3 things when it comes to the mindset of high ticket sales: overcoming the fear of rejection, releasing guilt or discomfort around receiving large amounts of money quickly, and then answering the question, what if no one buys? You got to raise that price. And then the last one is feeling like you have to prove your value to charge more. I have seen people do this all the time. Like, how many of you on here, you have a group coaching program? How many of you have a group coaching program? I raise my hand because I have a group coaching program, right? Now, how many of you, your group coaching program is $1,500 or less, or $3,000 or less, right? You have a group coaching program, it's $3,000 or less, right? Some of you are probably like, yeah, that's my group coaching program. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But on top of your group coaching program, you're also doing one-on-ones. And your one-on-ones are probably like, what, $1,500 for 1 hour? Hopefully it's $1,500 for 1 hour. Sometimes I see people doing one-on-ones and they're doing like $297 an hour. And I'm like, I can't do that. That's too much time, right? So, and whenever I tell people, like, if you're doing one-on-ones for $1,500 an hour, why don't you just raise the price of your group coaching program? Instead of charging $3,000 for group coaching, why don't you charge $10,000 for group coaching? And when people hear that, they think to themselves, oh no, that's too much. People wouldn't pay that much because they think that group coaching means that they're not going to get as much value. That's not true. They get even more value because not only are they learning from you, they're learning from the people around you, the people in their program with them. The questions that are being asked, and when you answer those questions, is serving the other people as well, right? And so ask me how much my group coaching program is. Some of you are like, how much is that group coaching program? It's $10,000. I charge $10K for my group coaching program. If somebody wanted to meet with me one-on-one, I think my price is like $1,500 for the hour. It wouldn't make sense for you to meet with me one-on-one, 1 hour a week for 5 weeks. You're going to pay more money for the one-on-one session than you are going to for the group coaching. And every single one of our group coaching sessions are very intimate, right? So it feels like you're getting one-on-one coaching through the group coaching program because we allow it to be intimate. These are small groups and we call them private coaching. So that now you're getting your issues addressed, you're getting your questions answered right in the group coaching. And everyone who has joined my program, they have skyrocketed and they feel so blessed. They absolutely love it. Like sometimes they may have come from another group coaching program where they probably invested more, especially in like the bigger gurus. They've invested more, but they faded into the background. In our group coaching program, we don't do that. You don't fade into the background. We actually pay the attention to you because here's the reason. I'm a bragger. I like bragging about you and the results you get in my presence in my program. If you don't get no results, I can't brag about you, right? So our goal is to make sure that you're getting the results, whether you're overcoming your fear of being on camera, whether you are going from 0 leads on social media to 30 leads in one day, or just 30 leads period, whether you're going from having less than 1,000 followers to having 10,000s of followers, whether you're going from using your email list where there's 2,000 people on it now to those 2,000 people are actually buying from you. Like those are the things that I like to brag about. And so our goal is to make sure that you're getting those results, right? Now, some of you in here, you're like, I'm not ready to join a coaching program that's $10,000. That's totally fine. That's why we have the Convert Content to Cash Challenge where the VIP ticket is only $297. You actually get a taste of what the coaching is like, where we show you how to create content that sells in 5 days or less. So if you're in here, you've been on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube for a long time with your business, and you are convinced that social media doesn't work for you and your business because you haven't seen the leads and the sales come in, then that's because you're doing social media wrong. That's just straight up what it is. You're doing social media wrong. You don't know how to use it as your marketing tool. You're still thinking if I just post the content, people will come. No, that's a movie. Leave that for the movies. That's Field of Dreams. When it comes to social media marketing, it's about actually having a marketing system set up so that you are attracting your audience to you, and then having a sales system set up so that you're now converting those followers into customers. If you don't have a system set up, you can post as much videos as you want. You'll go viral and not make any sales, and that'll be frustrating, right? So if you want to join us, you want to learn how I can put out the content, but not just put out the content. How can I build a marketing system that's going to consistently bring in the leads, 30 leads a month, 40 leads a month, 100 leads a month, right? How can I consistently convert those leads into whether it's 5K packages, 10K packages, 20K packages, right? Join us in the Convert Content to Cash Challenge. You can the link is right here, contenttocashchallenge.com, or you can just DM me, challenge accepted on Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn, and I will personally send you an invite to join us in the challenge, right? Again, you get to join us for the VIP experience where you'll actually get to experience the intimacy. Hey, Neat and Social, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while, right? Okay, so we talked about the first thing, right? Which when it comes to high ticket sales, the mindset of high ticket sales, why people are afraid to do it. Fear of rejection, guilt or discomfort around receiving large amounts of money quickly. What if no one buys, right? You want to raise your price if no one buys, and then feeling like you have to prove your value, right? So the next thing when it comes to actually selling high ticket is creating the offer once, right? Creating the offer once. The goal is to have an offer that's repeatable, scalable, and specific, right? I've seen some people where they don't have an offer that is scalable. They don't have an offer that is repeatable. And what happens is they end up being capped. So they'll probably bring in a couple of people into their coaching program, and every 6 weeks or every 3 months, they have to keep bringing people in, or keep launching, I should say, because the program isn't repeatable. They have to keep starting from scratch. I used to be that way. When I had my coaching program, when I first started my coaching program, I would get people in for 6 months. And then when the 6 months was done, I would have to relaunch again and start from scratch. And it wasn't until last year that I recognized I am teaching the same content. I'm going to leave this for open enrollment, and I'm going to train my audience to be accustomed to watching the recordings that we have in our membership vault. And let me tell you, it worked magnificent because instead of me bringing people in and they have to learn everything from the very beginning, we actually just show them, here, this is where you are in your business, here's where you want to be in the program, right? This is what you need to watch. And when you join the live sessions, you ask your questions then. And my audience, my clients, they have really benefited from it. Hey, Eileen, I feel like I'm seeing you show up everywhere now. Are you like officially back on social media? Right? Okay, so creating a repeatable offer so that you don't have to sell it again. So you don't have to create a new one. The Convert Content to Cash challenge that I was just talking about is our 5-day challenge. And I created this offer back in January 2023, right? Which means that I am not creating this offer ever again. Like, I created it one time and we sell it every month. That's the goal. You want to have something where you create it one time and you sell it every month. Right? Now, there are some of you on here, you have 1,000 offers. You have a coaching program, you have a workshop, you have a book, you have this, you have that, you have lead magnets for days. And then you're showing up on social media and you're selling all of it, and your audience is confused. We don't want a confusing offer. We want a repeatable offer. What is the one offer that every time you release it, people sign up, they keep coming back for more? That's what you want to show up with on social media, right? The next thing is a scalable offer. A scalable offer means that no matter how many people are coming in, you won't I was about to use a different word. You won't be burnt out. A scalable offer is no matter how many people are coming in, you won't be burnt out. So if you are someone where you're accustomed to doing done for you work, that's not going to be scalable because a lot of it is reliant on your time. So now, if you're doing done for you work, or if you're doing one-on-one work, you can only take but so many clients. And once you're capped at that many clients, guess what's going to happen? Your money is going to be capped too. You want it to be scalable where no matter what you're doing in life, you can always take on clients, whether you have other coaches that are supporting you, whether you're doing a group coaching program. That's how you want to think about scalable. Like, if I took on more clients right now, will it burn me out or will it build my bank? Right? That's how you want to think about when you're creating your scalable offers. For me, I had to shift my coaching program so that it will be scalable. Because at first I was doing one-on-ones, which was okay, but it was burning me out. So then I shifted to, let me just focus on group coaching at all. And now that's better because instead of me having all these one-on-one clients all over the place, I now just meet with them Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. It just works. And it really is beneficial. And then specific, this one program that you're going to sell over and over again. So you create it once, you sell it over and over again, is that it has to be specific. It has to solve one big problem for one ideal person, right? So some of you, especially when you're service-based, I've seen this with like hair products. I've seen this with people who own spas. Like, you can talk to anyone. And so because of that, you try to talk to anyone, right? But the problem is it's hurting your content because now you're over here talking to anyone, but no one's listening. So you want to be super specific in who you are serving. Like, for me, I serve 6 and 7 figure business owners, which means you are already in a position, like you already have a business. You already have a proven method. The only thing you're missing now is, what is your marketing system when it comes to social media? Maybe you're leveraging other audiences in person, but you don't have an online brand yet. And you want to know, how can I build an online brand to have my own audience so that they're always buying, right? So it's one person's specific problem so that we can help them, right? Okay, so we talked about, the 100K secret, how to create one offer that sells over and over again. We had to go over mindset first, right? The high ticket sales mindset. Then we went over how to create the offer once. You want to make sure it's repeatable, scalable, and specific, right? The last one is pricing the offer boldly. How do you price it boldly, right? So here's the thing. Stop pricing for affordability. There are some of you in here right now where you're putting out your offers and you're like, oh, I just don't think people will pay that much. I used to be the same way. Before I started selling 10K packages, I was selling $475 packages. And let me tell you what happened at 475. I brought in one person, and that one person had a poverty mindset that after we only met one time, and then after that, she was too afraid to make the next investment because in her mind, I don't know if I'll get this money back. So when you price your offer too low, not only are people running away because they don't think the value is there, but you're also bringing in low effort people. Be wary of the people who are constantly asking you, do you have a payment plan for an offer that's $300? I've had a couple of people when we have the challenge, the VIP sales, the VIP ticket is $297. People will be like, some people will be like, do you have a payment plan for that? And at that point, I have to tell them this program isn't right for you. If you need a payment plan for $297, there's no way you're going to be able to afford the program after that, which is really going to help you to create predictable 5-figure months. Right? So you want to stop pricing for affordability, because when you price for affordability, you bring in bargain hunters. I want you to think about this. Would you ever buy a Birkin bag from Walmart? You can just drop a yes or no in the chat. Would you ever buy a Birkin bag from Walmart? Some of you are like, I wouldn't even buy Birkin to begin with, right? But for the most part, the answer is no. Because if you bought a Birkin bag from Walmart, you would think that it was a fake, right? And so what people are typically in Walmart, they're getting like lower, what is it? Lower, I don't want to say lower quality. Yeah, it is lower quality brands, right? They're trying to find the best price. It ain't nothing wrong with shopping in Walmart. I like shopping at Walmart, right? I like to get my toiletries from Walmart, all those things. But you want to bring in the people where when they see your high ticket price, they're like, oh, that's it. I've had people, the first time when I was selling my offer for 5K, exactly. Yep. Coach Karen said it, limiting mindsets. When I was selling my offer for 5K, I've had people, I tell them the price, oh, yeah, it's only $5,000. They're like, that's it? You need to raise your price. Could you imagine selling a 5K offer and someone tells you, you need to raise your price? I just offered someone a 10K package and she was like, oh, that's it? I said, oh, shoot, I went too low. Right? Like in our minds, we're thinking this is a lot of money, but it's not. Not to the right person. To the right person, they're like, oh, I thought you were going to charge more than that. In my mind, I want to be like, how much more you thought I was going to charge? So I know what to charge the next person, right? But every time, like in my mind, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not going to charge for affordability. You want to start charging, you want to start pricing for alignment. So instead of pricing for affordability, price for alignment. What aligns with you? What aligns with your values? And what aligns with your dream client? So I'm going to tell you right now, some of you are selling to premium buyers, and for them, they won't pay for something under a certain amount. Like for me, if I was joining a coaching program, if it was $1,500, I probably won't join it. If it was $3,000, I probably consider it. But if it was 5K, I'll probably be running towards it, right? Because I already know I've joined programs that were $1,500 1 year long, and the quality was not good. But I've joined programs that was $13,000 1 year long, and the quality was amazing, phenomenal. I was able to get results quickly. The coaching and the support is great. Now, I'm not saying that just because the price is high, that it automatically equals value. No, you want to be someone of integrity as well. So if your price is going to be 5 figures, you want to make sure that you're truly offering value to your audience so that they can get the results that they are looking for. Don't try to cheat people talking about, Star told me to raise my price. I tell everyone to raise their price, but you also want to raise your value and your integrity, right? If you're going to serve people at that level, make sure you're ready to serve them at that level. Don't be taking people's money and then running off, right? Okay. The next thing is when it comes to pricing, the right clients don't need to be convinced. They just need clarity. So if they're not buying right away, it just only means they're not clear on the value that they're getting. You may have too much fluff. You may be making your language too nice. What's the word? Clever. Clever doesn't sell, but clarity does, right? Because a confused mind doesn't buy. If you cannot paint a clear picture in their mind of what they're getting, they're not going to buy. But here's the best part. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the offer. It just means the way that you're communicating the offer is not attracting them. That's where I step in. We help you with your messaging so that when you're communicating your offer, whether it's through video, through email, through your sales page, or through your sales calls, that once you say it, they're like, I know exactly what I'm getting. So one of my former clients, she's an accountant. She joined our program. And when she joined, within the first 4 weeks, we help you with your messaging. We help you with your messaging, who your dream client is. Like we do all of that, right? And when she was done, she went to a speaking engagement and she told everyone what she did. And somebody said, "Girl, your messaging is strong." And she said, "It better be. I paid for it." Right? Like that's important. Like you'll know if your content is converting when your messaging is strong. You'll start seeing the people come left and right, left and right, left and right. Right. So that's the thing. You want to make sure that you're being clear. And then last thing, high ticket doesn't mean expensive. It means high commitment and high return. So high ticket doesn't mean expensive. It means high commitment and high return. Some of you, you're hearing me say high ticket and all you keep thinking is, this is expensive. I need you to raise your mindset. It's not expensive. Especially, I just told you people will pay me $10,000 and be like, that's it? So to them, it's clearly not expensive, but it's high value and high return. When you're working with me, you're going to get high value. Like our goal is to serve you with excellence. That's what Jesus did. So we show up the same way. And then you get high return. My client who invested inside, she actually just invested in the VIP experience for the challenge. That was only $297. And she was able to get 60,000 leads. I think she was selling a $300 offer. Do you think she made her money back with 60,000 leads? Unless she was horrible at selling, she should have made like 20x her money back. Right. And so there's a saying that I have that I also want to give to you too. For those of you who are like, I want to sell high ticket, but I'm just a little, or you have the high ticket offer. And at the same time, you're still feeling like, I don't know. I'm going to share this with you and you can make this part of your affirmations, part of your declarations, but it works every time. My business is a blessing. And anyone who buys from me shall be blessed. My business is a blessing, and anyone who buys from me shall be blessed. My content is anointed, and anyone who watches my content shall be anointed. My content is anointed, and anyone who watches my content shall be anointed. I say these two, I haven't said them in a while, but I was saying them a lot in 2023, 2022. And guess what? Everyone who invested in my service, they were blessed, whether they made their money back right away or not. Because some of you are relationship coaches, and in your mind, you can't justify $10,000. But I want to ask you this. If someone joined your coaching program and was able to get married in 60 days or less, would it be worth it? Even if they got married in 6 months and that marriage lasted a lifetime, would it be worth it? That's how you want to price your offers. It's not based on what they're investing right now. It's based on the outcome that they get to get. And every time I share that with my clients, guess what? They raise their price. I had one of my clients now, she is a therapist, right? And she just launched a coaching program and she's like, I'm tired of doing one-on-ones. I said, just raise your price. I gave her like some astronomical number. To me, it wasn't astronomical, but to her it was. And she was like, okay, I'm not going to raise it that high, but she did double her price. Do you know that she still got people buying? They like someone ended up after she doubled her price, someone still invested in that same program. What does that tell you? That expense, first of all, is subjective. And that's just not a real thing. It being expensive is not a real thing. That's just language that people use to make an excuse as to not why they shouldn't invest. So when it comes to high ticket, it's not about it being expensive. It's about it being high commitment with high return. That means that if someone's investing in you, if they're investing in your program, you're about to be committed to them, right? They're going to be committed to you too. Because I'm going to tell you right now, some of you, the reason why you have low effort clients who aren't doing the work is because you are undercharging them. It happened to me too. The reason why I went from 5K to 10K is because at 5K, I was bringing in a lot of people who would invest 5K and not show up for the program. They wouldn't ask any questions. 6 months would go by. Haven't heard from them at all. Before I got to 10K, I raised my price to 7,500. Even at 7,500, people was coming in and barely doing the work. I was like, dang, y'all just got money to be throwing out like that, right? But at 10K, when I tell you the people show up, right? Okay, so I hope that blessed you all. I know I went a little over with this podcast episode, but I do want to share this with you. We do have the Convert Content to Cash Challenge that's we're rebooting again May. May 11th to May 15th. So if you want to join us, you want to learn how to create content that sells, I'm going to go ahead and put the link on the screen right now. You can just go to contenttocashchallenge.com. You want to make sure you put like www.contenttocashchallenge.com, or you can DM the word challenge accepted on LinkedIn, Instagram, or TikTok, and I'll personally send you an invite. I have another offer too, just in case some of you are like, I don't really want to sit through a 5-day challenge. I just kind of want to create the content. I need help just getting started. I also have the Consistent Content Accelerator, where we help you to shoot 31 days of content in 90 minutes, right? So if you're like, that's what I want, just DM the word CCA2. So that's C as in cat, C as in cat, A2. Just DM that to me. And actually, let me make it simpler. Just DM Accelerator, and I will send you information about the Consistent Content Accelerator, where we help you to shoot 31 pieces of content in 90 minutes. That way, there's no issue with you creating the content. Now it's just rolling it out. I hope you all enjoyed this podcast episode. I'll be back on Thursday with another solo episode. I can't remember what I'm talking about. You would think that I would just put it on the paper. From now on, I'll make sure to put it on the paper. But Thursday, or is it Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. Let me just check real quick when I'm coming back with another episode. I've been mixing myself up sometimes. Yep. Oh, yep. We're back Wednesday, actually, with a guest. So we have a guest on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Wisdom to Wealth. Y'all have a great day.